Hey everyone, with the viral video going around about the wolf guy playing with wolves, there seems to be a lot of hate being spewed. I see it talk about as cultural appropriation, that white people steal everything and all culture, and that we don't have a culture of our own, and that I've seen people use the word native and think even the word native only refers to Native Americans. But of course, actually, I saw it directed towards my friend in Denmark. If he's native, then he should know about elders. No, well, there's different native traditions. Every place in the world has some sort of native. But let me talk about this concept of cultural appropriation, especially how it interrelates to wolves. And if you do live in the Western world, you live in a European culture. So to say that Europeans have no culture, well, good job, because are you not watching TV or watching me on a digital screen right now? But hey, whatever. Anyway, all people need to go through successive states of development before we get to our modern society. And though it is true that many a European have lost their native concepts of spirituality because of Middle Eastern religions and the fact that they said you can only worship the one God and everything, that doesn't mean that we did not, as Europeans or as white people, go through our own successive stages of evolution, societal evolution. The way you look at things, you have to realize that hunter-gatherers are a necessary step in societal development before you get to agriculture. And that in many ways, that the Native Americans that were discovered by the Europeans, or that were the Native, not discovered, of course not discovered, the Native Americans that were in existence when the Europeans first met them, were in a late successional stage of hunter-gathering. They somewhat had agriculture, but due to many things, including smallpox and other diseases that were spread by the Europeans, the native population was reduced. And when the population is reduced by a significant enough amount, you will go backwards in your level of development, in your successional stages. So to think that the Native Americans are the only people that have rights to the wolf is another point of cultural appropriation that I'll bring up and show why it is a fallacy. As all people go through a development of hunter-gathering, all animals of the land, therefore, have importance to us. So if we look at the wolf, for an example, it has northern distribution, circumpolar distribution in the northern hemisphere. And what follows that is the importance of the wolf in concepts of animism, totemism, and polytheism across the entire northern hemisphere. If you want to look at in Siberia, shamans uphold the wolf, and there's wolf totemism. If you look back far enough in Europe, you will see sacred animal cults and totemism. You will see the Ufenders and berserkers that show in Norse mythology, as well as the prevalence of the wolf as a destructive force. In Norse mythology and Germanic paganism, it was less destructive. If you look at all Proto-Indo-European cultures, every single one of them has at least a boy raised by wolves or twins fostered by wolves in their mythology. So really easily, it's really easy to throw out there, all right, a wolf or worship of the wolf or a close relationship with the wolf is not cultural appropriation. Another way to prove this, every culture has dogs. Where do you think dogs came from? They came from wolves. So to think that a wolf can be a marker of cultural appropriation, it's just insane. And like I said, if you go back to any type of time when there's hunter-gatherers, you have totemism, you have animism, and you have pantheistic polytheism or nature worship. I mean, where I live, the airport is still called Landvetter, which means the hidden people, right? That's the land spirits. So to try to say a white man is culturally appropriating anything from Native Americans by his relationship with the wolf is just insane, because guess what, guys? We have forest spirits as well. We have tree spirits as well. Every single human culture is ubiquitous. There's certain things that are considered indicators of culture. That's funerary rites, birth rites, marriages, adornments, right, clothes. And to think that concepts of innate spiritualism that comes from people that work in harmony with the nature, as we did with hunter-gatherers, is just insane. No one culture holds dominion over that. if you actually research it, hunters and gatherers have the most leisure time of any society. Even though it seems like it would be the hardest, they have up to 20 hours of leisure time per day, where they don't have to work. Whereas look at us in the industrialized world. We have to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day or more if you want to add up with cleaning the household and everything and household chores. But, of course, hunter-gatherer cultures have been pushed on the fringe because they're, by very way of their vocation, they can't be as densely packed, right, as densely settled. So then agrarian takes over. But like when you're looking at cultural appropriation, people say dreadlocks. Oh, when white people have dreadlocks, it's cultural appropriation. Bullshit. Look at the bog bodies in Denmark. They have matted hair and dreadlocks. People seem to forget. Just because the people in Europe are further along in their development societally away from your native roots does not mean that they never had them. So when somebody says you're culturally appropriating something, realize every immigrant in the world is culturally appropriating the culture they live in. And that's fine, right? Because how are you going to get ahead if you don't assimilate? You need to assimilate. So stop with this BS of cultural appropriation and realize that just because what you think has been stolen by the masses or by white people, maybe that's your opinion coloring the world around you, your single tradition blinding you. Learn something about society and learn that all humankind has the same latent and innate spirituality. That's one of the things that marks us as one species. So when you claim cultural appropriation, you're actually upholding divisiveness, racism, and bigotry. So, enjoy your own Nordic journeys, my friends. Peace out. Have a good Yule. I'm just tired of seeing that shit. If someone thinks they have more of a right to a wolf than me because of my ancestry, we all have equal right and claim to hear the song of a wolf in the future and to protect that species. So let those videos serve with the original purpose of what they're supposed to be, which is give us a reason to protect the species, and stop letting it be a point of divisiveness. Because if we start claiming one people or one culture to have hegemony over the species, the wild species that is the wolf, which is why I have that dog and that dog, well, then we're dooming the wolf to destruction. So, like I said, thank you all. Merry Christmas, good Yule, and enjoy your own Nordic journeys, my friends.